Ladies and gentlemen, and people of all stripe, this is the Backcast. Thank you for joining us. And I'm Dan, joined by Joe.
Hello, everyone. I have returned to grace you with my presence.
To cast backwards sight on the things that we have played this week in video games.
Yeah, definitely. And we actually have news.
Yeah, glorious news.
Glorious
It is
news.
a glorious day to talk about video games.
It's been a long time coming. Maybe only a few weeks for you, but I've had it for a while.
Yeah.
But I finally finished Wolfenstein.
Woo!
The first one, not the second one.
Okay, Wolfenstein me, bro. What do you think?
Wolfenstein New Order. I actually had quite a bit more left than I realized.
Had you? Oh, we're going to spoil this because it's been forever.
It's an old game. Deal with it if you haven't played it. It's a great game.
You hadn't got to the Moonbase yet,
No, I was on Moonbase.
Okay.
I got to Moonbase. I didn't finish Moonbase level. And yes, the Nazis have a base on the moon.
Yep.
And it's actually kind of rad.
I don't remember a lot about the Moonbase because I think I was in the power through mode when I got there.
Yeah, and it is a very short, there's only like 2 stages that are kind of on the moon. Like you're kind of done with the moon when, like by the time you get there, you're kind of already done. And
because you have to shoot your way through the launch pad and get
you get in, you get the nuclear launch codes,
the Nazi Space Museum.
Yeah, the Nazi Space Museum. Oh, that's cool.
That was really cool. I remember
really
that.
Cool, yeah. You get the nuclear launch codes and then you bounce. Like you're off the moon pretty quick. But then you're back on Earth for like 2 more missions. Which I didn't realize. I thought it was much closer.
Right. Yeah. I know you're back for a boss fight, but
yeah, you're back for basically the Nazis finding your secret hideout.
Right. Oh, that's right. That is the end.
So you have to get through the secret. You have to clear out like the hideout, and then you have to get to the big bad boss.
And everybody goes down. Some characters go down kind of in a blaze of glory.
Yes. Actually, yes.
So, again, spoil. Jimi Hendrix dies.
Actually, I played through on the other guy.
Oh, so you know how you get one of the characters that's in your
right? Yes, on the Wyatt playthrough.
They just call him Jay, but it's totally Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix.
And he goes out playing.
He does give you acid as well at one point.
Really?
And yeah, when you're chilling at the hideout, like he's like, "Hey man, just like take this and just chill."
Does it put you at a wolf level?
No.
The old Wolfenstein levels?
No. You can get to that. That's
a bedroll.
Yeah, you just sleep on the bedroll and you can play old Wolfenstein. But yeah, you just like trip for a while and he plays guitar and it's kind of cool. It's an interesting scene. But
he goes out playing the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, that's so epic.
And he's got like it's Michael J. Fox beginning of Back to the Future wall of speakers goes out kind of thing.
That's real good.
And then the Nazis shoot him.
In the one I played through, it was the the kind of like sloth guy.
Okay.
And his brother. They go out.
Oh, really? Because I guess they changed what is the canon ending because...
Oh, I guess Sloth Guy doesn't die. He doesn't. Shot. He gets shot a bunch, though.
Yeah, but and same thing happens in the other playthrough. The dude dies, Sloth Guy lives.
Okay, yes. Okay,
and they give him a gun and he actually starts shooting and
I'm trying to think, did anybody die that was like...
Who's your other character then, if not Jay?
It's this like Jamaican guy. It's like there's another black character.
Is it just supposed to be Bob Marley or something?
Totally not. He's like a big burly guy and speaks. I don't know. He's like African, like full African.
Okay.
He speaks in an interesting patois.
Okay.
And a hard time understanding him.
Okay.
Like maybe he's Creole or something. I don't know.
Could be Creole.
Yeah.
Because that is a very interesting kind of accent. It's because you sit there and listen to it and then you realize,
I didn't recognize it. I don't remember because it's a while since I got him. Since I rescued him. You rescue him from the prison early on.
Oh, okay.
I think like when you meet Jimi Hendrix on the other playthrough.
Yeah.
Since I've played through it almost twice, I kind of have a lot of the story stuff mixed up a little.
Fair enough.
But interesting. Going back to the like big Nazi science thing because you gotta kill the big bad guy, Death's Head.
Yeah, General Death's Head.
General Death's Head.
It's like
it's brutal.
Yeah.
Like there is some brutal scenes. Like going back into that because early on they make you choose between the younger guy or your old veteran buddy.
Yeah.
And I chose veteran buddy, and that's the playthrough that.
And he is pissed at you for doing it.
And he was real upset. I mean, they're both really upset for you.
Right.
One or the other.
It's a literal Sophie's choice.
It's very lose-lose. And that end scene's messed up. So you show up and Death's Head like pulls out Buddy's brain and sticks it into a robot.
Yeah.
And like makes the robot like try and kill you. And it's your buddy and he's like is just like begging you to kill him the entire time.
Yeah.
It's pretty effective. And it flashes back to like so you actually get to see what happened. So it shows Death's Head like having the super soldiers like stick dude on the table as they like
chop him up,
eviscerate him, and then suck out his brain.
Yeah,
and that was gross. That is a very graphic.
Bit much.
It was a little gore porn at a point, and I'm just like, ooh man, harsh.
Yeah,
but you do like end up you stun Meccano Buddy and pull his brain out, and then fry it with your laser, which was kind of cool.
The laser gun is great.
The laser gun is so good.
It is really good. But here's
once you level it up,
yeah.
most satisfying gun.
Absolutely. But
game.
Here's the thing: is the gunplay isn't actually super satisfying for a Wolfenstein game, because here's the thing: is if you do stealth, that only lasts so long, and then when you get into open combat, you are not survivable enough to make that. It's not like Doom. Doom, you're taking hits, getting health, and there's a flow to it. Wolfenstein, you're just like you're trying to stealth, and then you go, oh no, guns blazing. I need to hide a lot more.
I honestly downed the difficulty and to finish it up just to get done with it.
Gotcha. I'll tell you what, that's what I found. Like even on the kind of the basic difficulty is you can't really go guns blazing effectively in the way that feels satisfying.
Unless you go for that. If you go for the dual wielding guns blazing build, like you become a lot more effective at that.
Right, but they still throw so many guys and you're taking so many hits.
True.
You don't have damage reduction, so you go. It's a lot of hiding.
But I did go back through and get all the armor upgrades and the health upgrades.
Oh, see, that's
so
what
I had a ton of armor.
So
I had a ton of health.
That's one thing that game is not good at. It penalizes you for not doing the collectible hunt,
which is fine because you can do it. And
I guess,
but at some point, if you keep digging in, that game has a lot to offer. But it's like get out of it what you want to get out of it.
Right, but you can't become overpowered unless you slow down and explore everywhere.
And that's one thing I really did enjoy about Wolfenstein.
Interesting.
As like a whole package. Like, the exploration part of it was actually pretty interesting. There's lots of just weird little things, like all of the weird Nazi propaganda posters that are everywhere, news clippings, all of the
that stuff's cool.
Alternate history is awesome.
I don't like being forced to interact with it, you know?
Well, and most of it you don't have to.
Well, I mean,
it was just like if you slow down to smell the roses, you could get a lot out of it if you wanted.
Right. But to get a good, powerful endgame character, you needed to do at least some collectible hunting.
Well, yeah, and play through on two characters, on both playthroughs,
right?
Because the one playthrough gets you armor, the other playthrough gets you health,
which is
it's a weird thing.
Yeah,
but it adds to replayability.
But it doesn't add to replayability. If you want, if you want to get everything out of it, you have to play it more.
But
I'm not saying that's a problem. That's not a problem.
But that's exactly what I'm saying.
But that's the thing.
You have to play it more to get everything out of it. That is the point.
I don't know how I feel.
I don't think it's because it's not necessary to of course, if you want to play on like the Uber difficulty,
I did schlub my way through without picking up collectibles, and I only did one storyline and all that.
And I made it all the way to the end without even realizing there were collectibles that would upgrade my health and things. So it never became an issue for me. I never had. I replayed maybe 2 levels, I think, that I had a little trouble getting through, but it was never super difficult, and that was on the normal difficulty. I think
I do find I did get bogged down in places though, just like the certain rooms
I can
or
understand
setups.
That, yeah.
Just like
until
and
there were a couple of like restart checkpoints where I was just like, oh, okay, so like I need to save my grenades for like when the big mech shows up, and you got to blast that guy, and stuff like that. And I would forget about the alt fire that they have on a lot of the guns, like the rocket launcher and stuff like that. So, it took me a little bit to get back into it after having taken such a long break.
Yeah.
But like once I remembered the buttons, it was just like riding a bike. It was very easily like pick up and play.
I mean, controller shooters tend to be.
They do, except that Wolfenstein is not. It's a few steps behind modern shooters in a lot of ways.
It is kind of, There's a clunkiness to it. That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's just different. It's just not. It's not Call of Duty. It's not Destiny. Weighty. It's not. It's got a different feel to it, and I actually found it pretty satisfying. Even the stealth stuff. I mean, it's super forgiving with like headshots and things like that. Super forgiving because none of the they don't have aiming reticles that are like as pinpoint.
Right.
I honestly didn't even sight in most of the time. You just don't need to.
Right.
Which I thought lent to a more arcade feel and made it a lot more fun.
Yeah.
I didn't have to be super precise, and if I wanted to stealth, I could stealth. And there were very clearly sections where like, okay, here's a stealth section. You can do stealth if you want.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. There were benefits to it.
I opted to stealth most of the time.
When I could, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
When it made sense because it's fun to cut through those vents and go running around.
But it does feel like when it falls apart, it goes from 0 to it's on real fast.
Absolutely. And that's another thing I actually kind of enjoyed. Like it's just like, hey, yeah, you got spotted, and everyone's calling for backup, and you know that they're calling for backup,
right?
And just suddenly tons of dudes are up.
Well, if you shoot,
that's when you switch to like dual wielding assault rifles.
Do they have a glowing helmet? The communications guys, the officers. If you kill them first,
they don't call for
reinforcement.
They don't call for backup. Yeah, and that's the only fail state for the stealth. If you get spotted,
right,
and they alert the like captains or whatever they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, ending was
See, this is what I want to talk about.
Okay, so final boss, Death's Head, right? Kind of a lackluster boss fight, not super difficult.
But this is endemic to kind of games in general. The last boss of a lot of games is you're just like, really, this is it?
Yeah, I actually liked the big encounter right before that, where it's the giant mech like rocket launchers and stuff. Like that was cool, where you're running around underneath in the tunnels. That was an interesting fight. And it took a second to like kind of figure out, okay, how do I damage this guy?
Right. What's going on?
What do I do here? And he's huge. You're sitting in like this empty, like under construction area, and it's there to assassinate you.
Yeah.
In the name of the Nazi Reich. And it was more interesting than the final fight. You get out there and Death's Head just has this like shield around him.
He's invulnerable.
He's invulnerable. You shoot down a couple mechs, throw a grenade at him. He kind of freaks out, goes underneath the ground. You follow him underground, and then you just kind of hide behind a pillar and throw grenades and rockets, and he goes down pretty fast. He's not very aggressive.
It's just like but it's the delay state. Shields, and like, nope, you can't damage me, but now you can, but now you can't, but now you can, but now you can.
And then it's just over. Yeah. And that was kind of cool, like a cinematic, you knock his mech down, rip rip him out, off, pull him out, stab him.
Right,
a bunch of times. A bunch of times.
The part about the ending I really want to talk about, not necessarily the last fight. I thought that game with the tone and what they were doing ended so well. With BJ, basically, they kind of didn't make you think he's dead.
Sort of, but they don't ever show you anything. He just like he gives the all clear to nuke the place.
He's basically what happens. He's basically lying there bleeding out.
Yeah,
and he wants us to do it.
Death's Head, like as you're stabbing him, he whips out a grenade and blows himself in half and messes up Blast.
Theoretically kills you.
Well, no, because you see him after the grenade. He drags himself to the edge,
but he looks mortally wounded
and checks. He definitely is bleeding, and he's pretty messed up.
And I was gonna say the dialogue also feeds into a sense of I'm done.
It definitely is going that way because he goes and he looks over the edge and makes sure everyone's making it to the chopper okay.
Yeah.
And then he radios and is like, "Oh no, it's all clear. Go ahead, nuke the place. Like, let's do it." And then it fades to credits.
Right, which I thought was a good ending for that character. He's a man out of time, kind of the way they do it.
Yeah,
and
he definitely is.
And I'm slightly disappointed that they did the sequel. It's like, no, you survived this as well. It's like every game starts with him surviving something he shouldn't.
Well, I waited till the end of the credits to see if there was a stinger.
And there was?
Not exactly. You see kind of a white light.
Okay.
And you hear a helicopter.
Right.
So maybe he got picked up by the people before as the helicopter was leaving.
I think that maybe was put there like we think we're gonna make a second one. We might not. We may do. It's kind of it's
an ambiguous ending.
It's the anime.
Hey, we can sequel if we need to.
It's the anime thing.
A little bit.
Always leave yourself a sequel.
Leave yourself an open. Yeah, and it's cool. I'm fine with it. I hear good things about the second one, so I
hear short things about the second one.
That's fine. I mean, this one was short. Like
right.
They're not long epics, and it's kind of nice. Have a tight story, and that was one thing I did appreciate about Wolfenstein is very tight, like real tight.
They get you through it pretty quick.
They do get you through it, and there's actually a lot there to dig into if you want. But even if you don't want to dig into it, like what they give you on the surface is fun.
Which I kind of did like that, the surface skimming and then kind of dipping down at points.
Dip in when it's interesting.
And I did enjoy that. I don't want to sound down on the game. I enjoyed my time with it, but I didn't really want to spend that much time with it. I'm like, okay, they're kind of like straddling the, hey, isn't it cool, Nazi future sci-fi, woohoo, Nazi moon base, but the tone is grim and dark, and so there's this weird juxtaposition.
Don't forget the mirror side of that as well. Crazy Nazi everything,
right?
But then weird Illuminati Jews.
The Juluminati?
Jewminatis?
No, Juluminati.
Whatever.
I'm going to keep saying that.
But then, like, what's-her-face paralyzed lady gets that crazy mech armor.
Right.
Like,
the power armor.
Gray Fox power armor.
Power armor. It's power armor.
Sure, yeah. She's messing the mechs up, just, like, spin kicking and stuff. I was like, wow, this went anime real fast.
And then you have your stereotypical Jew guy that you rescue from the prison.
Right, and he's cool, too.
He's cool, but he's a little like, he's like a 15 on a scale of 10 of how Jewish are you.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, you needed that caricature.
Right, but I'm saying that the tone is all over the place for Wolfenstein, this game.
It absolutely is.
And it points, you're like, okay, this is... Oh, you have also Crazy German Lady?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and there's moments where BJ's tone, and he's like and he's thinking to himself, his very somber and kind of... I find his tone interesting because he's the soldier that's survived too long. And everyone he knows is lost. He's lost everyone. And I found that kind of interesting, but the world, like his tone and the world tone, and then here's Crazy Jew, here's Crazy German, here's Crazy the Resistance Lady, and moon bases, but we're going to torture your friends. It's just... Yeah, it's all over the place. And I'm not saying that's bad.
It's definitely a caricature of the whole, like...
I wish it was more consistent. Thing. Like, it picked one and kind of went with it.
I mean, I think all of those characters are true to those characters. Like, as amped up to 11 as they all are. Like, they... Like, with Crazy, like, psychotic German lady, she... Right. Like, they ingrain that in you very early on.
Right.
Like, it's like the second
level.
The
opening of 2 is she's back, and she's even more...
She never died. So.
But she's more psychotic.
I mean...
She's the new bad.
She did watch you just, like, eviscerate her weird boy toy.
Yeah.
Which was a great scene.
Well, let's say
one of the better scenes in that.
She repays you back in kind in 2.
Oh, shocking.
Yeah, right.
Spoilers. Jeez.
Wolfenstein 2, from what the criticism I've heard is it's Wolfenstein 1 again.
Okay. So, I mean, I'd be fine with more Wolfenstein.
So, like, hey, I'm going to kill somebody at the beginning of this, and it's going to be violent and all this, and
it's got to be impactful.
You literally being held down by Nazis while things are playing out around you. Kind of, it's literally the beginning of Wolfenstein 1 again.
I did really enjoy all of the advertisement, like the fake pop propaganda.
Yeah,
they made for Wolfenstein.
They spent a lot of time on that,
and it's cool. Yeah. It's super entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. I'll get around to that at some point. I'm sure.
That's the point. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah, I'll get around to it.
Okay.
Also, let's see. Have I been playing anything else?
Well, let's just touch on briefly the Destiny 2, the expansion.
Yeah, we can do that.
Curse of Osiris.
Curse of Osiris has come out,
and people just went, "Oh, this is kind of garbage." All right,
real lackluster, and Destiny is feeling the burn.
Oh, I'm kind of out too. Like,
it's not engaging like it used to be.
Well, it's cynical. I want to say, like, I was making comments.
I find myself like missing Destiny.
Like
Destiny 1. I think in a lot of ways it was a better game.
I'm saying Stockholm Syndrome, but it continued.
Maybe. I mean, that would be about how this goes.
You spent a lot of time with Destiny.
I spent a lot of time in Destiny, but there were aspects of Destiny that they have been unable to touch again.
Yes.
Like some of that gun rarity that they had touted early on, like that they wanted these guns to feel good, impactful, but they very quickly pulled back from that, where we had some really awesome guns from the raid in Destiny 1.
Yeah, we still talk about it. Fatebringer,
Vision of Confluence. Vision of Confluence, yeah. So many great guns that are just very iconic at this point.
And the ones you were like, no, I'm using this gun as long as I can. Yeah. I love this gun.
Yeah, and it became just like, and it was awesome to use those guns.
Right.
That almost doesn't exist in Destiny 2 at all.
What do people say, like, oh, these are the meta guns, you kind of want these, but whatever.
Yeah, but they're still kind of even with you can get away with using
they're too balanced. They're too balanced.
It's too balanced. They are
it's been homogenized
to their
bland
detriment.
They're bland.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. And from the looks of it, I have not actually played a lot of Osiris. I'm not even leveled all the way yet.
But here's the thing: is there's no drawback to being leveled.
It's true. When I was asking about like power level I needed for the raid, I was like, I was told 300, and I was like, oh well, I'm 305 already.
Leveling up gives you is more bright engrams. It's kind of you're just like there's no incentive to level.
Yeah, and I'm starting to get that real slimy feeling.
Yeah, well, because here's what they did when they launched Osiris. They locked regular world activities because you have to have the DLC to do the new things,
which is where it really started to rub my cheese the wrong way.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, ooh,
So yeah,
come on, Bungie, like, because I mean, they kind of had stuff locked away in Destiny. that was probably in the game already, but you had to get the DLC to get to it.
Right.
But it wasn't like we're going to block off content that you already had access to.
Right, you can't do the Nightfall this week because it's a DLC map.
Yeah, and I think it was the heroic modes of the dungeons that really I was like, oh wait, yeah, that's right. I had forgotten. Heroic modes were not. They didn't exist. They weren't in the game until now, and now they're locked behind the DLC.
Right. Whereas they were in the base game in Destiny 1.
Yeah, and it's starting to feel a little.
Right.
It's starting to feel a little EA. I know we talked a lot about like the microtransactions,
and I was talking about how I was upset. Again, I don't want to get cynical.
This is not pay to win by any means. This is just like it feels kind of slimy.
But what we talked about is the bright engrams. They're like, okay, we don't have the system down, so we're going to err on the side of screw you, and it takes more XP to get the bright engrams because we don't want you to get too many bright engrams.
Right. Yeah.
Don't play our game.
That's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah,
it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, and I just think is like it's the thing that I was worried about for years. That I was like, oh, like guys, Destiny, let's criticize, let's be on it because we don't want it to do the thing that it's now done.
And sadly, like in its conceptual phase, it seemed like.
I showed you that video, that YouTube video of the GDC talk with Joe Staten.
Yeah, but that was like 10 years ago.
But it was it was great. It sold us. It sold us all.
It sold us. Like I was like, oh, I'm in. I'm in for Destiny. Like doesn't matter. Like. Whatever they decide to do, I'm in.
Yeah.
And I mean, I hate to say that. Sadly,
you're out.
Not out. For now. Not out. I'll play through Osiris. We're gonna go break. I don't know that I'm going to worry too much about rating.
And I'll say this.
I did get the expansion pass, so I will be getting whatever the next thing is. So I mean, it's kind of
don't pre-order anything. This is why I'm doing it, but don't pre-order.
Don't pre-order things, people. You'll just be hurt in the end. Nothing is sacred.
Life is pain. Don't pre-order. And they keep doing the thing of they have a bunch of different ways of like saying, hey, look, we could totally do randomized Rift style content, a la Diablo 3, but we're not.
But we're not going to.
But we're not going to do that for you. It's like I swear, there's like somebody knows like every stage faces Destiny is like, here's the thing that you want, Dan. But we're not going to do it.
Watch us light it on fire in front of you.
Yeah, it's seriously.
You're going to flush your fish in the toilet.
I got this for your birthday. Now I'm going to set it on fire.
But I'm not going to give it to you.
Right?
There's a fundamental disconnect there, and at least they are starting to become more transparent. Maybe they are getting...
I hope.
This is all speculation and hopeful, like wishful thinking for the future.
I need to go back and read their updates because... I need to see what they're doing.
Their last attempt at transparency was somewhat better, but I mean, it's still not where they need to be. They still get enough crap from the internet,
right?
To it's enlightening.
2 tokens in a blue.
Yeah, I mean that's fine.
We talked about that.
Memes are great. Yeah, memes are fine. But with Bungie, they just seem to not want to make a good game.
Like I said,
honestly,
I know it keeps in it, but my cynical response is they're like, you're going to buy it anyway.
And that's so sad.
But you can kind of feel that now. It's starting to feel that.
It's starting to feel slimy.
Because here's the thing.
Because I think that's what it is.
They haven't had to innovate, so they're not gonna. This is going longer than we intended on talking about.
Yeah,
Destiny.
we didn't really want to talk about Destiny this much.
But anyway, let's leave it.
Suffice it to say, they're getting EA levels of,
and we're not particularly happy. So this should be the last Destiny talk for a while.
Yeah, it might be. I don't think I need to talk about it again unless something really big changes.
Right. And now talking about things you shouldn't pre-order. We're now going to move on to something that isn't out yet that we've seen on lately that we're really interested in.
Getting kind of excited about this.
Monster Hunter World.
Yes, there was recently a beta weekend.
For PS4. There's a Xbox PS4 version coming out in January. They haven't said anything about the PC, but they said, except that they're coming to it. They said we're prioritizing console because they've always released it there, and then they're going to release it on PC. So, but no,
which is interesting, but I don't know.
Dark Souls did that.
I wonder how it's going to control
controller support.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those,
and that's fine.
Yeah, that is fine as long as it's tuned for it and everything. Because I don't know how you play that game on a keyboard.
The people will. It'll be crazy.
Yeah, weird. If you haven't seen or are aware of Monster Hunter games, they are
madness.
Yes, they've always been kind of a weird niche.
Again, like a
game
not
type.
to invoke Dark
Japanese.
Souls.
Yeah, it's kind of a Dark Souls.
It's like it's impenetrable in like a good way.
Yes,
you have to spend time to really grasp the nuance of what's going on here.
Yeah, it may sound like a Pokemon game. It is not. It is.
Didn't think of that. Didn't think of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's not like that at all. You are actually a hunter, and you're out in
of monsters.
And these monsters primarily are dinosaur-esque.
Yes, there's but like Japanese dinosaur-esque. So like
they got some crazy wings and weird
feathers
or hair. Yeah, but they're all vaguely reptilian.
Yes,
for the most part.
Or dragon,
like sure, dragon's
like a straight dragon. Yeah,
and you pick like whatever weapon type you want.
There's in world. There's like over the years they've added weapon. Do you want to call them classes of weapons or types of weapons?
I don't know.
Because
I don't know.
So basically,
I've the most Monster Hunter I've touched has been a demo on the 3DS.
And the 3DS controls
they're fine. It was fine for what it was because like the Monster Hunter. This is the first like foray into full like.
Did they come out a PS2 game? I thought the first one was PS2.
I don't think anything of this fidelity.
It's been a long time since they've actually brought it to a
full
bigger
3D world, bigger thing. I think the most recent ones have all been on.
Well, it's been handheld for years because I think they realized that handhelds in Japan were more popular and people would get together and sit around with their PSPs and play Monster Hunter together.
And
which is rad.
Yeah, it's cool. And basically, you're just hunting monsters to collect their parts to then craft better weapons and
to hunt bigger monsters.
And it looks kind of cool.
Oh, it looks fantastic. So, like I said, like the weapons, there's 14 types of weapon.
Yeah, and that is effectively your class as well.
Yeah, but you can swap it out. So it's basically you have your character, and then you have
it's a loadout. It's like a class, but it's a loadout as well. Like it's
right.
They all have weird.
Basically, it's a role.
Yeah, it includes that as well.
But at the same time, you can switch any time.
Yeah, so it's actually cool.
It's
in that respect.
And Monster Hunter World, I guess, is adding like kind of an open world kind of feel to it. So you could just go into these different maps and hunt.
Yeah,
and each map has like a signature monster, I guess, that's there. That's not even necessarily the one you're hunting, but is also there. So you could stop your hunt, kill the big guy, and then go back to hunting.
Go back to your other hunt. It seems super interesting. As you are
well, and then I showed you that video where we're the weapons
went through all the weapon types,
and it's crazy. So it starts like sword and shield, double daggers, lance and shield, and you're like, okay, this all seems great. Like a bow, and you're like, okay, it's over the top and great. And then you're like, here's
all these weapons are huge, like. Put Final Fantasy to shame.
Right, the great sword.
That too.
That thing was just.
But I mean, even the bow, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, the way it's
as tall as you are, and you're launching basically javelins.
Look up your basic arrows are firing like the great arrows from Dark Souls again.
Yeah,
like
there you
these
go.
Massive arrows. But there's also lots of flourish between how you're doing
and that's
the
based
moves.
on which move you're doing.
Right.
I watch actually a lot of the bow play because I'm
a range guy.
All into the range. Love range, like bow, sniper rifles, whatever the case may be. So I was watching a lot of it, and so you have your basic just shot. Where it's not a giant ridiculous arrow, but like you'll do a combo. You'll shoot like three arrows, and then you'll launch a bag of rocks into the air.
Yes.
That then rain down on your target as a combo. But then there's also your giant like javelin charge shot where you actually grab this big arrow, scrape it along the ground to sharpen it, and then it charges up and does a way more damage. And it's super cool.
And it's a Japanese flourish, like spin around.
Oh, yeah, it's very dancey and kung fu.
Right, Gun-kata-esque.
Yeah, Gun-kata style.
But like with more flourish.
Yeah, it's great. Everything's very deliberate, very Dark Souls in that regard. Like you got to be...
Animation priority.
You got to be committed to what you're doing and how you're attacking.
Yeah, but also the weapon sharpness thing. That's a mechanic. You have to stop fighting to sharpen your weapon back up.
Yeah, there's a meter on screen and it drops as your weapon dulls and becomes less effective.
Because you're beating it against a dinosaur. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's so cool.
I think here's the thing: this is one of those games where either this time I might actually try a ranged class. I tend to be a get in and beat it kind of guy.
Yeah.
But and some of those things like the switch axe, the sword axe. I don't even know that
the sword axe.
But it's a giant axe that's also a giant sword. But it's depending on which combo you're doing when it's changing between sword and axe, shield and sword.
Yeah, if you've ever seen any like Bloodborne, they had a lot of like
transformative
weapons, and you could switch like damage type or however you use that weapon.
Yes, but then there's the heavy bow gun.
Fly. Right, which is also super
Which
cool.
is like looks like a dude, like basically the dudes from Aliens, where they have like the hip mounted machine guns, but also fires like howitzer shells and like land.
Man, yeah. So you have
each weapon looks like it completely changes how the game is played.
There's a glaive where you're doing a bunch of like flipping through the air, but it also comes
insect
with
glaive.
The insect glaive. It comes with a giant beetle that goes and like does stuff to the
like
monster.
It's basically shooting it off your arm like a Mega Man. It goes, does stuff, and comes back.
And does stuff.
But you can do like kick jumps in the air while you're. You really, if you're interested, look up these weapon videos, because you'll be like, you'll see how different, like literally plays the way the game plays. It changes so drastically. It's impossible for us to describe, I think, effectively.
Yeah, it's really hard to like. Also, you get a cat person.
Your palicos.
You get a small cat man.
Did you see the trailer that has like the eye patched, real tough cat man?
Well, that all changes. You can like gear him out in all kinds of.
There's like the head cook or something, because you always have to cook before you go out and eat. Sure, go out and hunt.
Maybe
there's a trailer with a bunch of palicos cooking, and then there's like a very Japanese mob boss, one eye patch looking dude who's in charge of them.
Right on.
It's just. Yes.
Yeah, and you get to design them.
Stylish as hell.
They have their own gear. They have their own weapons.
So when you solo, you have a cat partner that's out fighting with you.
It's like your support and does stuff for you, and it seems really cool.
We also need to talk about the hunting horn briefly.
Hunting horn?
Which is the big axe bagpipe.
Oh, right.
That you can play and then hit a thing and then back to play. Like there's actually, I guess,
it's like the bard class of
I was
Monster
reading
Hunter.
a little bit about this, and like it has like your the type of music to play up on the screen at all times, and so you're like hitting guys and then charging your friends as you're piping as you wish, and then somebody's charging and then you hit them in the face, and
it's insane. It is absolutely insane.
Just so filled with whatever it is it's filled with.
But gorgeous world, looks fantastic. I saw a lot of like in the jungle type play.
Yes.
Had a little bit of a desert kind of like Lake Powell,
like a
Utah
beach
style,
but a beach desert forest kind of thing. Like some of the areas, it look like you're on a beach, you run up into like a jungle and up on a mountain.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty varied, and like in the beta, I think they only had one map.
Right. And I don't know how many maps they're going to have, but they are going to have multiple maps.
And heard like the DLC is not going to be extra, generally speaking. Like historically, Monster Hunter has given away all of their DLC. That just comes
but
out,
here's the thing:
as it comes out, they just give it out.
If they did this is one of those things that if they did it right as a platform, I would be fine. If they're like, we're going to add all this different stuff, because it's a weird loot game where it doesn't really seem to be about the loot, though.
Yeah, it's more like
it's about the hunt.
It's about the hunt, but I mean,
but also the loot.
Of course, it's about the loot.
But of course,
it's always about the loot.
It is always about the loot.
Yeah, because you want to get tougher. You want to get cooler costumes, and that's another thing I really like about it. They have like
gear sets,
but from other franchises.
Really,
I think Mega Man is already confirmed.
So do you have to hunt Mega Man to get the gear?
I don't know. I don't know how that stuff comes. Like, I mean, they'll probably have some of that as paid DLC if you want it.
Yeah, because it's Capcom, so you're gonna have a bunch of Capcom.
I want to say Bayonetta was in a Monster Hunter previously, not this one. Not this one, but like.
Also, side note: apparently, Bayonetta 3 has been confirmed for Switch.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Right.
I've always wanted to play a Bayonetta game.
I played the first one.
Crazy.
They are again stylish.
Yeah, it's like a stylish action. I dig that as a genre.
Yeah, but we're not going to get sidetracked. Anyway, we're looking forward to Monster Hunter.
Really looking forward to it. Hope it comes to PC sooner rather than later.
I hope it's like a 6-week kind of optimization thing.
I may just have to get it on PS4 if it's especially if we don't know anything about how it's going to be on PC. We'll see. I mean I don't know. We'll see. I am hopefully optimistic.
I will say this though. Maybe I'll back you away from the ledge. I don't want to pay it for PlayStation Plus again.
That's another thing. I don't want to pay $120 for Monster Hunter.
Right. So we're probably gonna have to put out the feelers with our crew and we'll see what people are thinking. How
many people are really interested?
Well, you and I are in.
We're in, but that's like we're easy to please. It's a loot game,
but it's also it's very co-op focused. I like the idea of like building a team.
And from the beta play and seeing some 4-man play, it seems like some of those monsters need like either like decent gear or 4 people.
Well, and coordination.
Yeah, very coordinated. And that's going to be interesting too. That's what I'm curious about, honestly. When I was looking at the bow play, I was like, oh, I wonder if I can do like a CC focus build.
And here's what you have to be careful of, because if you have guys with like a couple of guys with great swords, the classes that are good at mounting the guy and stabbing in the back, they don't get a good chance because you knock the monsters out cold,
down all the time,
and then the guy who can climb, it doesn't do any good.
Well, and I'm hoping to be able to do like multiple classes, like multiple.
You can swap out your weapons in map.
Do we know if we can have multiple characters?
You don't need them.
Well, I mean, you know me.
Right, but no. Here's how it works. You just change weapons on your guy.
Change weapons and gear.
Yeah,
whatever your loadout.
That's
is.
it. That's all it is. It's a loadout focus.
Okay, and that's cool. That's cool.
So you don't have to like grind up.
Character models look great. I didn't see anything about character building, but those character models look real good. Even if it's minimal, those character models look great. Yeah. Even if I can just change like hair color or maybe some facial features.
I would assume you could, but I haven't delved into that. I'm gonna have to do some research.
Yeah, I have not heard either, and I don't know if that's a thing in Monster Hunter games.
Yeah, because we should say we're total noobs, but people
noobs on the Monster Hunter.
The people who know say this is the one to play the beta. Say jump in here. This is the one to jump in on. And I've always loved the idea of Monster Hunter.
It looks really cool, and I'm excited. And all the food in it. That's another thing that I thought was really interesting.
The different foods.
It's very food focused.
Yeah.
So like when you are cooking and eating, it has like a whole
like before you go hunt
scene, like you fully rendered, like
you gotta cook
eating crazy looking food.
But you gotta pick the food that you're like, okay, I want this item, cook them together, and it'll give me these range of buffs.
Yes, and that's so exciting.
It's like the strategy element that seems to be there. Also, for fun note, so you know how they have signature monsters on maps? I was reading today. Apparently, there's always something above the signature monster.
Ooh.
Which is going to be probably your raid boss.
Rare spawn.
No, like
rare spawn raid boss.
I don't know how that works. I have no idea what that means. But there's something that's crazier beyond what you know about. So that's like the end game raid stuff, I guess, where the coordination really comes good.
Seems like a weird niche game, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I want to love this already.
I want to love it as well, and it looks good. Hopefully, it pans out. Hopefully, it comes to PC sooner rather than
right. Hopefully, there's here's the launch date. Now that we're in the new year, here's where we've gone gold on the consoles. Here's when our PC date is targeted.
And that's coming out on consoles January 16th, I believe. So
that's not too far away at all.
It's not too bad. We're mid-December.
I think the worst one I saw was besides Destiny 2 being 6 weeks. Actually, Dark Souls 2 was the same way, I think, or Dark Souls 3 was
and
about 6 weeks.
I mean, that's just kind of par for the course when it comes to like PC releases. It's unfortunate. It's too bad that they don't focus on that more. But I think it's the whole exclusivity thing. They don't want to cannibalize their console market.
But that's ridiculous because I think there's a divide between your console and your PC people.
Maybe it's just that I'm not really that divided. Like if it's coming out on PC now, I will definitely go for the PC.
I wonder. This is me just blue sky here. I wonder if it has to do with PlayStation kicks back some more because there's the network fee.
Could be.
Or somehow that interacts with them easier. Or it could be it's Capcom and they haven't had a good track record with PC games.
I didn't even think about that. But yeah,
in fact, Japan in general.
That's true.
But they're getting better. They're getting way better.
Which is why I'm kind of like, do I want to get it?
Well, worst case scenario, you get a look at the PC and say, nope, that's not the version. I can still buy it on PS4.
True.
But you're the type that want to get in sooner rather than later.
Well, in this case, like this is a game that I will spend time on.
Yeah.
Like it's something that I can play, and it seems like as interesting like with that Dark Souls style combat, but it's much brighter. It's less like dreary.
It's not. It doesn't have the downer vibe.
Yeah, and I'm betting I could just sit and play that, and my wife would still be entertained.
Yeah, because it's not gross enemies and just like disheartening everything. It's hey, we're gonna go out in the jungle with our cat. And we're gonna hunt stuff.
Buddy, and we're gonna hunt these crazy looking dinosaurs.
Also, when you join us, drop in, drop out.
Yeah,
you ride like a pterodactyl.
A pterodactyl comes, and you just like. Your fast travel's great.
Yeah, you fast travel via pterodactyl, and your friends drop in via pterodactyl because you fired a flare that says, "Come join my game."
It's got some style to it.
I want to love it.
And the gear, like even just the demo gear sets that they had on there, are like so cool looking, like really great looking.
Just literally just cut parts off this monster and strapped them to myself.
Yes, and they look really cool. I'm super excited.
And you are kind of a transmog whore.
I am. I do love just. Give me all the gear.
I like this look.
It all.
Yeah,
but Yeah, really excited for that. What else has been ruining our lives lately?
Well, mostly. Buckle up. This might take a bit. You were talking last week about WoW.
I mentioned WoW last week, yes.
Yeah, maybe once or twice. Maybe spend some time on WoW. So I said, you know what, the heck with it. I know we're trying to do all these other things, so yeah, I'm just gonna stop playing everything else and relapse into WoW.
I mean, that's the way it happens.
Yeah,
right?
you fall off the train.
Fall off the wagon.
Or the wagon, sorry.
Got to get your metaphors right.
I'm going to mix metaphors because it makes me happy.
That's fair enough, too.
Yeah, so...
stylistic choices.
Yeah, right? It's not me messing up. It's stylistic. But yeah, so I started up my shaman again, my enhancement shaman. Which is a melee shaman. Got the doom hammer rolling. And... yeah, WoW is just...
What are your thoughts? I mean, you've been gone for what, almost a year?
Over a year. I dropped in what...
You did start with this expansion?
I did start with this expansion.
Legion? Okay.
We were doing progression through Emerald Nightmare.
Right, okay.
We were on, what is it, you got to run inside the tree, DPS the... Il'gynoth, yes. And I was just I did garbage on that fight because I was falling asleep as we were progressing on it because my new job, and
was not conducive to
I needed to wake up at
the old team's raid schedule.
I need to wake up at 5 a.m, but where our raid is running till 11:30 at night, and the energy drinks didn't
not doing it.
I was doing 2 energy drinks a day and still not having enough to deal with it. So
we call that tolerance, kids.
Yeah, right. And I was like, yeah, this ain't working.
Yeah,
which didn't seem to matter because our raid team kind of scattered to the wind after
because I had to take a break at the same time. New job as well. That was at night, so I was unable to continue stuff like that.
But anyway, so yeah, that's where I fell off there, and it's been 2-3 raid tiers.
Let's see. It was Emerald Nightmare, Nighthold, Tomb of Sargeras, and now is Antorus, the Burning Throne.
Yes. So it's 3. I am 3 tiers later.
3 tiers later, coming back, and this is the last raid tier for this, as far as we know.
But we don't know how long.
Right. Yeah.
And people are hoping it's not a year like it typically is.
Yeah. In the past, this has been a very long period of time before new WoW comes out.
That's okay. That means I'm fresh blood. So when I get my raiding genes on, and like people are like, oh, somebody new.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how are you finding it? Having taken such a break, you started with the early systems.
Mm-hmm.
Has it become easier?
Yeah, coming back and they're just raining on you.
Yeah, they just rain everything.
Here's gear. Like I didn't get. They had legendary item world drops that were a thing, but super rare when I left. I never got a legendary item. But they've since put in bad luck protection and added more legendaries and all these drop chances and been very transparent about that. And I've been back for like 3 days and I got a legendary, and I know I can get, if I really bust this week.
If we were trying, we could probably
get 2 more this week.
Probably get you a couple this week easy.
It's weird, and I'm also doing multiple quests. I like doing the minimum amount of quests to get caught up to where the current area is, so I can get the best gear, and then go back and clear out my quest log and clear out areas and all these things. And so I've got this
fill in all the story bits, because actually the story this time around has
some interesting moments.
Kind of interesting, yeah. It's been a bit more narratively driven.
And speaking of that,
than the past,
I've got some dissonance going on, which is hilarious because I'm trying to rescue Illidan from Soul Prison. But I'm also in the part of the story where he's a character standing on a spaceship yelling out orders. So it's like, oh well, okay, sure, we'll just roll with it. I love MMO dissonance.
Yeah.
Because they have to factor in all this stuff, and so I'll go back and I'll free Illidan later, but it'll take me at least 2 weeks because the way the capping system on that quest works.
I mean, I guess it would make sense if you were playing solo and were just kind of focused on your quest log and kind of just chained that story through. You'd eventually get.
Here's the problem there, because the quest
you know too much and know how to like min max more than your average person.
But here's also the problem is they continue to give you quests past that, and I have a quest that will take me a minimum of 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah.
So
that too. Yeah, I forgot about those.
Yeah, it's like I run 20 dungeons this week, run 20 dungeons next week.
It's true. Yeah.
And that's at maximum. Like that you get 40 items.
But that is for old content at this point.
It's any Legion dungeon.
Right, but it's for old quests.
Right, to save Illidan.
Yeah, it's for old quests, yeah.
But Illidan's already saved.
Yeah, but he's still there, yeah.
Right. But I do enjoy, I don't read quest text, but I do enjoy...
No one does.
It's
WoW.
Yeah.
We've learned long
Which is why they now have the text bubbles that pop up and people actually talk to you while you're trying to do quests.
Fully voiced and everything. It's
Liam O'Brien in full force.
O'Brien in full force.
But I did really enjoy the way they... I don't know. I'll give him credit because the way they did the whole Illidan being redeemed by the light and him refusing it is not him being an anti-hero. It just came off as creepy bad touch space light thing. Is like, I'm going to make you better. And he's like, I don't want to be better. And he's like, and instead of trying to rationalize with him, it's like, no, I'm going to tie you down and we're going
to force you.
This is going to happen. And he just basically blows the thing up with eye lasers.
I mean, they very clearly, it's weird. It's like they didn't know Illidan or something. Going into that, like they didn't prep him. Well, they didn't take him into the green room. Or it's like,
they didn't really
now Illidan.
Well, they didn't know really either because it was you're reassembling Space Crystal,
true, yeah.
And Space Crystal's like, no, we don't have time.
She pops and she's just like, we got to get this done now.
Right, and it's her prophecy about Illidan anyway. You think she'd know?
Yeah,
here's the thing: is how they got there is not good at all. I will say that. But
you haven't seen all the way that everything got there, right?
Right, but I'm saying
you're not quite there
in that
yet.
moment, how that plays out, because I got the beginning of that quest chain, and I now see the end of that quest chain, and like, this is clearly not.
I'd be curious to see, like, as you get through the middle bits, if it ties it together in a.
And I'll be looking for that
because it's been a while since I did most of them kind of at the time they were supposed to be done. And it's fuzzy. It's fuzzy to me at this point.
And they could have done something really cool because I don't even know why he's there, but there's the Burning Legion, I guess, traitor, like the Lightborn demon dude.
Right.
Who hangs out on the ship, the Vindicar.
Yes. Yeah, the Light Dreadlords.
Yeah.
Whatever they are.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, okay, that's a cool concept. Why didn't they turn Illidan into one of those?
I think that's kind of what she was trying to do.
No, I mean, it was clear because here's the thing is, because then you would have a different conversation of, instead of having a demon hunter, you would have a Lightborn demon hunter, which would have been amazing. Still makes Illidan the special guy that he is. And so like him, like when they're like, I'm going to heal your scars, and he yells back, I am my scars, which is great and a valid point. But like,
it's a great scene, very well done. Highly recommend, even if you don't know anything. It's cool.
The light thing is coming across as a creepy bad touch kind of.
Oh, it's very bad touch.
Yeah, it's very bad touch. So
yeah,
they could have done that different and made Illidan properly Space Jesus, but he's still Illidan.
Right. Yeah.
And
he stayed true to character.
And
very well.
And they could have had him stay true to character, even if he's this chosen person. Like, I think they could have done it better.
It's true. But I think it could have been more interesting. But having now completed that raid and seeing how everything plays out, as far as narrative for this expansion goes, it's fine.
Well, you're gonna have to carry me through that raid so I can see that too.
Yeah, I mean, give it a few weeks. LFR, everyone's gonna see it.
Enhance Xiaomi LF carry,
no doubt. Yeah, I mean. It's cool. It's good to have you back in the game, honestly. Like we'll have to start running some stuff.
And here's the thing: is like I was saying last week, it's such a singular experience, and the pacing is different. And here's the thing: you could never accuse a WoW expansion of being, at least not yet. It doesn't lack for content.
Oh, definitely, and that is more true now than it ever has been.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and every time, and the way they kind of keep everything updated is there's always reasons to go, like trying to pound through this new content. I've started missing the old world and running legacy raids to get transmog gear, and
there's so much it's current. There's so much that you can do. Like even me, where I'm raiding regularly, there's still a lot that I can do, and
the Mythic Plus dungeons.
Yeah, Mythic Plus dungeons are great, and just you can always there's always chances at legendaries, so there's always reasons to go back and.
But there's also the transmog because
the transmog is there. The problem with that for me is I kind of have my transmog, right? Because I have the old challenge mode set,
and then you pick a set, you stay with it.
In some cases, it depends on the character, it depends on the class that I'm playing.
Right.
But like with my druid, which is like kind of my main, and I also
has been for years and years,
and that I got the challenge mode set and. It's also a Worgen, so it's like really hard to put gear on a Worgen.
Worgens are tough to transmog
are a weird
for,
thing, and but it's great looking gear. I just never change it now.
My DK Worgen, I spent forever finding. Like I even mixed and matched like 5 different sets to find a cool gear set for him.
Yeah, Worgen are rough, but. You know,
what are you gonna do?
It's cool, but on my priest, on the other hand, that's when I'll just run everything. Like any piece of cloth gear that I can pick up, I will.
Right.
Because I will change that fairly frequently.
I regret not doing the challenge mode on the shaman because I like the challenge mode shoulders,
giant totems,
and when you roar, they fire. They like fire up,
and volcanic eruption coming out of them.
Yeah, that's it. Just the shoulders.
That's pretty cool.
But then again, I need to run Siege of Orgrimmar this week as well.
I want to say there was recently another set that had real big totem shoulders.
There's a couple. Also, so you know that set that I'm transmogged as the Sky Cutter.
Not really. I've never played male classes, so I'm not super familiar.
Well, there's so there's the blue set, which was the old tier set, which I got fairly easily.
Oh, the PvP recolor, right?
There's red. Yeah, I was looking through. There's actually a really cool kind of light
That's
blue.
The old. It's from the Black Temple.
Black Temple, yes.
The Black Temple
PvP
Shaman set. Okay.
Well, guess what they did in Warlords? They did another recolor of that set.
Right, because they redid all of those sets. Yeah, they redid every single one of those Black Temple sets.
It's earthy with some blues, and it looks really good for a shaman.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, well, I don't want a PvP, but these are clearly PvP sets. Dang it.
Yeah, but it's actually really easy to get that currency.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
But anyway, what I was going to say is the cool thing about the way they've crafted the world in WoW is there's only about 6-8 heads or like stylistic combinations you can do for your each class, but you spend so much time making your character yours that disappears anyway. The time with transmog, the time with just how you run your character, that
just customization on customization.
It feels like your character.
Absolutely.
When I switched from my Death Knight to this enhanced Shami, it was a little bit sad. A little bit, but I also really like this. So you get these characters that are just yours in a way that Destiny never does. And
you can't. It's impossible because everyone's rocking the exact same gear. Even though you can level up whatever gear you like.
Kind of, but they put a limit on that. So there's some gear that's really cool that I would like to bring back. Usually when you get into it, they start off with you've got this gear that's all burned and thrashed and broken. It's like I would like to keep that gear forever. Some of those pieces look great,
and you can make cool combos,
but they're whites that don't have the infuse ability.
You can't infuse,
and you can't make them legendary, so they're a waste of time.
Yeah. WoW being so established it's a beautiful monstrosity.
It is.
There's so much there. It's got a lot of depth that only a game that's been around for 11 or 12 years.
And has been well designed for 11 or 12 years.
Yeah. Which is shocking.
Right?
What games nowadays can say that they've been around for 12 years?
I think because it's also made so much money off the start. They said, all right, we're going to do this right, and we can do it because we'll make the money.
And it seems like they literally broke the mold because nothing...
How do you get
the
anything
MMO
like that?
market has died. Essentially.
MOBAs are now a thing.
MOBAs are a thing.
But those have died as well. Those are established. What's next?
Yeah, you wonder what's going to come next.
I like that people
keeps going.
Yeah, people just tried arena shooters. I still want to believe, and I hope that the vanilla, the legacy servers are like, we're going to do vanilla legacy servers, and this is just a twist, like a bait and switch, and it's actually just going to be WoW 2, but WoW 2 is just WoW 1, but read it like optimized better
engine,
so
all of the quality of
they'll
life.
start with Molten Core, but they're like, no, this is how we would do Molten Core now.
And that is not a terrible idea, but it's also a really that would be a weird gamble.
It would be a weird gamble, but
I like the idea. I like the idea because it does rub some of that nostalgia, but it's
I'm not that guy.
New.
I hate the nostalgic peddling, but
we have had a lot of good times running through Molten Core, even at way over level,
right?
Just
and
farming that out.
And a shot at starting over fresh on a Blizzard MMO
would be cool. It would be cool. I definitely agree.
As long as there's no loot boxes in it.
No loot boxes. I agree. I also have been playing a lot of WoW. I still have been playing a lot of WoW, even more so now that I've joined multiple raid teams.
I apologize if this becomes the WoW cast for the next couple weeks.
Yeah, the WoW minute here.
No, I'm saying for the going forward. This week, yes, but next week I hope to play some other things.
Well, I mean, I've been trying to get my so in the new stuff they brought these challenge appearances,
yes,
and they are an additional artifact appearance
because
for
in this expansion you only have one weapon.
Yeah, you don't get weapons anymore because you have your artifact weapon. You have your artifact weapon.
And you feed it things to make it more powerful.
It's actually a pretty cool system.
I do like it.
I enjoy it a lot, especially because I play Druid.
Right. The problem is it becomes locked in at some point. All Doomhammers are the same. All whatever your weapon is become the same
stats wise and bonus wise.
And traits. There's a talent tree,
right?
But you fill out the talent tree eventually.
You fill it out completely.
Yeah.
And that's been cool. It's been an interesting way to progress in a Diablo style Paragon fashion. But like you said, I am a transmog whore, and I do like appearances for things. So I have been farming up appearances for my. They recently announced that you will be able to transmog your appearances.
So
we don't know exactly how deep that goes yet.
Oh, for the next expansion,
for the next expansion, because like we've been putting a lot into this. We've been unlocking these appearances.
Right.
People want to have that appearance going forward.
Right.
Going forward, and as a druid, I get really cool
because you changed into animals.
Yeah, because I changed into animals. I get really cool animal form.
Right, because it changes you into how you look.
Yeah, it physically changes like how you look, and there's a bunch of different ones, and they made these class-specific challenges for each class.
Which mine is, I unlocked mine. I need to go do it.
Yeah, and they're pretty hard. They've been out for a patch now, so you can outgear them at this point. I wiped many times trying to get the feral druid one, so because I'm trying to get a new cat form, Sparkle Kitty.
Yeah,
and so I wiped probably 30-40 times on it, like kind of like a raid boss.
Yeah, okay.
It's a like very. Some of them you can cheese, like on my Shadow Priest, like there's a mechanical cheese that you can do,
right,
where you just do your ultimate ability and don't actually use it, and it keeps you in a very mobile cast while moving form, and you just run around and just nuke the whole thing.
I wonder if my cheat's going to be going to Spirit Wolf and recharge.
Raptors. I wonder if it'll be that easy.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what yours is like. But I finally got it done. I finally got mine done, and I got Sparkle Kitty form. Basically, I'm a tiger.
You're a Twilight Tiger.
Twilight Tiger, sure.
You glitter in the sunlight.
I glitter all the time, even in the dark. It's great. And I basically have like weird. It's called Pride of the Ghost Mother.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you are a like spectral cat form with crazy fist weapons, and you have like sparkles and a weird spectral trail that comes off of you.
Yeah.
And
it looks kind of snow-ish.
Kinda, yeah.
As someone who sees these guys running around, it looks like you got a snowflake's following you.
And it's kind of one of the only ones I've wanted. Like there's another one where you kind of are like an owl cat. And
the owl cats look so good.
That was my hidden appearance, and I got that a while ago, but I've already unlocked all of that.
Yeah.
So I had something new to go after. And now that I have unlocked it, I've been going through trying to get the red color variation of it, which is super cool because your spectral form turns red, all your stripes are like orange, and you have like a rainbowy trail that comes off the back of you.
Oh, how progressive.
Yeah, it's very nice. And all accepting.
Yeah.
But I ended up having to do every dungeon boss that has existed in order to unlock that.
Every single one.
Almost. Everything.
Everyone in
all
Legion?
Of the old world ones. Everything that not old world. I mean old Legion. So anything that was out
Launch Legion
at the time of the challenge dungeon.
Okay.
I had to go back through all of those.
Right.
I didn't have to do the brand new ones, but
got it.
It was a pain.
Yeah.
And but I have it now, and I'm very happy.
There you go.
Next stop, Bear Man. I got to get Bear Man.
Bear Man looks a bit like a Mad Man Bear Pig without the pig.
It's like a werebear, and you're really muscly. Think of it as like a kind of a furry Hulk with like a teddy bear face.
Again, I say that the South Park design for Man Bear Pig.
Bear Pig, maybe.
Minus the pig.
Minus pig. It's been a while since I've seen Man Bear Pig.
It's Man Bear Pig. It's basically what it is.
I mean, I'll talk to Al Gore about getting my challenge.
It's clearly an homage.
Yeah, anyway, I'm still in. I'm still trying to get my druid geared up, and I've been raiding a little bit on that on the weekends with the Canadians. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, right on.
But I'm still in WoW. I've been back in for a while.
Yeah, and I still need to go get Mim's heads out of Old War.
Oh yeah, farming up mounts. I'd be down to run.
And I need to go to Siege so I can get that cool shaman appearance.
Yeah, man.
Got to run that.
Rock and roll.
Absolutely. So that's kind of what we've been playing.
Yeah.
I guess we talked a little bit about Monster Hunter being an upcoming.
Yeah, upcoming. We're looking forward to that.
Yeah, and then we're gonna. What's going on the channel here? What do we got going on?
Channel side. I mean, we're still obviously not done with Space Marine just yet.
We're close.
We're getting close. Space Marine should be wrapping up here in the next couple episodes, I hope, and then we'll be going strong on Overlord.
Right.
And as far as like after Space Marine, I don't know. Hyperlight Drifter probably
is what we're thinking. But we're still, we're kind of in it for a couple of series, so we're gonna keep working on that. As always, if you have any comments, suggestions, or whatever, throw it down below in the comment section or email us at backlogbacktalk backcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, that'll be right up after you'll see it on screen.
Or read the title card, because that's going to be more accurate than I will ever be.
Yeah, title card's going to be right up.
Woo! Just so hold your breath for that.
Or the end bumper, I believe.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you don't with a credit card.
There's lingo.
Actually, no, that's something else entirely.
The credit card is something different.
That's a form of monetary.
spending. I mean, we did run into some infrastructure issues,
and we still continue to,
as because high def video is large file sizes and filling up computers.
And there's some tricks and trades that even though you read about it, you don't. Yeah, we've said this a couple of times.
Yeah, we have talked about it. So we're still hitting some of those limitations and juggling hard drives and moving files back and forth for uploads. So as we increase in infrastructure, we will be able to do a little more on the processing end. Sadly, we're a little limited by hard drive space at this point.
And, actual architecture of our systems here.
Yes. I will be building a new system and hopefully be able to stream as well.
Yeah.
So when we are talking about things like Monster Hunter World or WoW, we can stream that out and throw that up on the channel as well.
Yeah, that could be a lot of fun. So you can see our terrible UI interfaces that we've customized and made monstrous. But look forward to that. I guess we're still also looking at a capture card. I've kind of been doing the research on that. So
once we get a capture card, that'll at least broaden.
But we're not necessarily in a hurry for that either, because
there's so much stuff on PC and on Steam that is also on console.
But I still say you have to go back and play Red Dead Redemption, though. That's a long one.
Oh no, absolutely. I want to play Red Dead. Yeah,
fantastic game.
The only reason that's not still in the plastic is because my wife took off the plastic.
I mean, it does look tacky.
Whatever. It's my backlog. Deal with it.
It's my backlog, and I'll store it how I want.
Exactly.
Well, thank you everyone for listening this long. I'm always surprised that people do that. But anyway, thank you very much, and we'll catch you next time on the Backcast.
Catch you guys later.
Bye.